One of the things that I struggled with when learning Bazel was deploying artifacts. So I could build something, but I always had a really hard time kind of programmatically getting the stuff that I built out of Bazel. So I've decided to make a video showing off one of the new features in Bazel 5.3 that makes this a whole lot easier than it used to be. So Bazel is really good at just taking inputs and doing something with the inputs and then returning an output. So this is for things like taking source files, compiling them, and returning an executable. The outputs then can also be used as inputs into new actions, which is really cool because then you can break your build or your your build environment into small pieces that they then can be built and cached and then tested individually, which is really cool and one of the kind of the power of using Bazel. But the thing that I struggled with was how do I then take, once I've done all of this, once this kind of deployable that I'm building is ready, how do I deploy it to my users? So my use case may be a little bit different from others. Like I'm not deploying to a web server, or I'm not deploying to anything like that. I'm using Bazel to build a local development environment for game developers. So this means that, and kind of the goal for me is I want a single-click build. So any developer who's working with the environment should be able to make a build of our game, client or a server or whatever, to be able to test locally with a single click. And also I want my developers to have a single click setup. So if I'm onboarding someone, for example, I don't have to tell them you need to have this Python version or you need to have this version of this and that. So this is my goal. So I have looked at just doing moving the whole development environment into Bazel, and I'll admit that I haven't been able to pull it off, and maybe it's because it's not a great idea to do it. So what I'm looking for right now is this kind of hybrid environment where I have Bazel in the environment doing kind of specific things, for example, building the tools in a hermetic way, but then these tools that are then built are then just deployed into the environment where the users can then use them in a more kind of traditional way. And I will say I am still learning, and right now this seems to be the best way for me to move forward, but I would love to know if anyone has any feedback or any ideas on how I can improve these things, or feedback or anything like that, then definitely let me know. I'm always willing to learn, and I am on this Bazel learning journey. So let's maybe just jump into the example project then. All right, so here is our project. So the goal is we're going to be building, we're going to make an executable. We're going to package that executable. So basically we're going to zip it, and then we're going to deploy it to a location within the on my computer, which is inside of the workspace itself. Even though that's not maybe best practices, but that's kind of what I need to do for my use cases. So I think it's a good example. So let's start by making the source code for our executable. So I'm going to make a Python file called mytool.py. I'm calling this. I'm just going to make it as simple as possible. Print I'm the tool. So now we have the source code. Next step is to create the Bazel workspace, and you can see that I have Bazel 5.3 installed here, or inside of my project, just for an explanation to showing how this is done. So now we have a workspace. So first thing that we have to do is we need to convert our source code, the Python file, into an executable, and we do that by using the the Python rules, the rules Python that are available. You go here under releases, and we just take a look at the latest release. And here you can see you can just copy this information. This is just the code that the workspace file needs to get the latest release for the rules.python. So let's go back in here and just paste them in. So now we want to use these rules here to create, basically first thing that we want to do is we want to go back and we want to go into the documentation, because we want to register the toolchain. And this means that we are going to be using a Python interpreter that is coming from the rules instead of the system one, which is one of the kind of key things that I use Bazel for in my environment. I don't want to depend on the Python that is installed on the computers. I want to have control over that. So pasting this in, we load the registers Python function here, and we register Python 3.9, which is fine for what we're doing. So now we need to create a build file. And this is where we declare the build action that is going to build our executable. So inside of the build file, we need to load in the PyBinary action, or the PyBinary function from the rules Python, the rules that we just loaded. And we'll just go ahead and make an action using PyBinary. So I'm going to do PyBinary. I'm going to give it a name, and I'm calling this just my tool. It needs to know what source files are part of this build. So I'm going to do sources. Well, this is not going well. It's going to be the tool.py, and that's it. And I know I should have like something that helps me format the documents correctly installed, but I don't. So here we go. So now basically I've added I can now compile my tool, the Python file, into an executable. So let's just run this and see what happens. So I'm going to do Bazel. It's pointing out the Bazel executable that I have in my project. I'm going to do build, and then I'm going to do -- for workspace, and semicolon, because this is an action defined within this path here, and I'm calling my tool. So we run this, and you can see that now it should be downloading the. And normally it starts off by downloading the Python interpreter and just sets the whole environment up, and now you can see that it's created two files for me. It's the mytools.exe, which is our binary files, and then mytool.zip. And the zip file just kind of comes with a binary, and it's all sorts of things that it needs to be run. So right now we've built kind of the simplest binary that we possibly can. And now we need to take a look at where it goes. So I go into Bazel out here, which is symlinked into my environment, under x64 Windows Fast Build, and under bin. Here you can see that I have my tool.exe, and I have a couple of other runtime files and things like that, and then I have this zip file here, and these are the two files that I saw here. But I don't want this to be in two files. I want this to be in a single file. So this is of course going to be a lot more useful when you have more complicated projects than just a single executable. You can have a bunch of different files that all need to be packaged together to be deployed somewhere. So to take the binary that we just made, or the tool that we just made, and package it, we need another rule here. We need more logic to actually package it. So let's take a look at another really cool package called rules.pkg. So this is something that does Bazel package building, and this basically, these are rules for letting you zip and compress and package things in your environment. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go to releases, and this works the same way. We load in the HTTP archive rule. So I'm just going to take everything except the top line here, and I'm going to put this into my workspace. Just going to paste this in here, and this gives me a new package called ruled package, and then it loads the dependencies, and then it calls the workspace function dependency functions. So in our build file, because we've now added our rules packages here, we can go ahead and we can load the function or the rule that we want, or the function that we want, and the one that we want is called package zip. And there's actually pretty good documentation here. If I do pkg zip, here we go. You give it a name like normally. You give it sources like normally, and then you have all sorts of these options that you can do. It's a pretty cool cool package. But we're just going to make the absolutely most simple thing that we can. We're going to do pkg.pkgzip, give it a name, and the name is going to be package my tool. And the sources are going to be my binary build action. So that means that we're going to point it at this build step here. And we do it the same way. We say this exists in the root of the workspace and in a package within, and it's a package within the root here. And we do my tool. So this means that the input sources here into the package tool are basically going to be the outputs of the binary generation step that we had earlier. So we're not going to make this. Let's do this a little bit more fun. So we can say out. And this is going to be ready for deployment.zip. We would never do this in production, but for explanation, this is not bad. So I'm going to do Bazel build, and now I'm going to point the Bazel build. Let's just clear this to make it more clear. Bazel build, and we do -- semicolon package my tool. So now that we run this, now it's actually fetching the rules that it needs to do the compression and do the zip and the packaging. And effectively, you can see that the result of my command here is a zip file called ready for deployment. And if I go back here into the output folder, and we take a look at this here, you can see that there's a zip file here. Package my tools. Here it is, ready for deployment.zip. So now we've taken the results of this binary build that we did, our tool, and we've kind of zipped it and packaged it together, and now it's ready to go somewhere. And now that we want to take this zip file and we want to take it and we want to use it somewhere else. And this is the thing that I've been struggling with a lot for a while now, but the new feature in Bazel 5.3 actually lets you, because getting this path here hasn't always been super obvious, and I did get a lot of help when I was trying to figure this out from the Slack community. But funnily enough, a couple of days after I asked the question, Bazel got updated with a really nice feature to be able to do that. So the way that this is done, basically what we want to do is we want to ask the question, what is the path to the files that are generated from this build step here? And the way that we do that is that we run Bazel, we use a command called cquery, and then we point it like normally to package my tool, and there's a flag that's called output, and we do files. So this is going to not be correct. cquery, why is it? That's not correct. Package, yeah, here we go. This is wrong. Package my tools. Here we go. So so now I'll just clear this and run this again. So now you can see it's printing this out for me. But I'm getting all sorts of other things here. So the way that I do this is because I'm running batch. I'm not great at these kind of scripting languages in Windows. So I know that I can do this simple here in out.txt. So when I run this, I get an out.txt file here that basically gives me the file that that this build action is doing. So I can do this with the other one as well. So the other one is called the binary one is called let's see, it's called my tool, semicolon my tool. And when I run this and I check my out file, here you can see that it's actually giving me both the exe file and the zip file. So with this, being able to do this, I can I can now kind of ask Bazel. So we're doing a build step. I mean, we're gathering all sorts of files and we're compiling all sorts of things. So now I can ask Bazel what files are being generated. And that, using that, I can actually just deploy them into like wherever I want. So to end this, I'm going to share just how one of the ways that this could be done. So if someone is really, really clever in kind of piping together results of commands in Bash or Batch, any of these kind of PowerShell, for example, like you could totally, you can probably do that, but I am better at doing this in Python. So I'm going to do a Python script here. It's called just deploy. And I'm just going to copy my script that I wrote earlier into it and just go into what it's doing. So effectively, I'm just importing a couple of Python things in here. I'm making two commands. One of them is build, and we need to update this, update the names here. So it's my tool now, and I did this. I was practicing before, and yeah. So right now we call Bazel 5.3, we call build my tool, and then we do query, the query command, and that's going to be cquery package my tools and output files. So then I run the command. Yeah, first we run the command, and running this command runs this here. This is ensuring that we're actually building correctly. And then the second thing that we do is we just do check output. That's a way of running a thing in Python and getting the output out of there. And then I just take the output. In this case, I know I'm only getting a single file because I'm pointing it at my zip file. So I'm just taking the output and I'm turning it into a path, getting an absolute path, and then I just make a target path, which is just the root of this this directory, and then giving it the same name as the file that's being generated, and then I just copy. So this is something that can definitely be done much better, and but just for sake of showing this off, I'm going to run this. So what you can see now that when I run this, it copies the ready for deployment file that we had inside of the Bazel environment. It copies it into the root of the workspace, and this is something that is going to be very enabling for me, and especially for some of the projects that I'm doing, because I am not able to kind of fully move everything over to the Bazel sandbox. So being able to build tools and put them inside of the inside of an environment where I need to run them is going to be super, super powerful. So so yeah, that's basically it for this this demo. So if you have any comments or questions, definitely leave them in the under the description. And if you have some better feedback, for example, on this Python project, on this Python code, I know it's not great, or any feedback, definitely let me know. So other than that, it's been really fun. Thanks.